Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, a 2v2 matchup between Happy. Well, I should have figured out all the names earlier. Happy, this is going to be Fly and Tho going up against Happy and, well, who is this orc player? Let me go ahead and do a quick check off over here. It is going to be Lin. Happy and Lin versus Fly and Tho. For some reason, the overlay is not working right now. Not much to say about that, except, well, I'll do my best to keep track of everything going on. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this matchup as we're looking at ghouls. Well, Happy opening things up. Crypt Altar or Graveyard Altar of Darkness looks like he will be going for Crypt Fiends here on Lost Temple. Meanwhile, Tho opening things up with their standard, well, Altar of Kings, farms, and barracks off to the north, perhaps trying to do a fast expansion down to the south side here. All right, things getting underway already. Altar of Storms heroes are going to be chosen here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and get up to at least a minute 45-second mark. It will be a Farseer and an Archmage going up against, well, most likely a delayed Death Knight. It's going to be a Death Knight, yet delayed Death Knight and a Farseer as well. Archmage is going to try and do some quick work, perhaps trying to clear out some easy creep camps. This center temple, well, has a lot of green creep camps and needs to be cleared out early if you ever want to have your units actually rally to you. Oftentimes, in the early stages of Reign of Chaos, players would rally units to their hero, and they would end up getting caught somewhere in this temple and end up falling down, or getting, well, taken down pretty easily here. All right, Forest Troll Berserker going to get taken down. Forest Troll High Priest is going to be that next target. You can see a Grunt making its way over to try and join in on the fight, help take down these Ogre Warriors as the Archmage gets to level 2. Off on the other side here, Farseer of Fly pressuring Lin, taking down some of these peasants as they're trying to get to work. One already taken down here, and now that Orc Burrow is finally ready, able to, well, throw some spears back at that Farseer. Death Knight off to the north here, gonna try and go after this Ogre Warrior creep camp only with Crypt Fiends and a Death Knight. No real easy healing here, just taking down that Forest Troll Shadow Priest and now using some of those skeletal minions to absorb a bit of that damage. So also setting up an expansion in this position, going to need a little bit more resources if he wants to try and speed build as the Archmage, now heading to that center position already. Meanwhile, Farseer coming in, getting in a little bit of harassment. Orc Burrows are going to be finishing off some of those units. That one Grunt, will it get taken down? Or sorry, Wolf will not get taken down as the Farseer is already at level 2. Great job by Tho and Fly being able to get a little bit of a hero level advantage in the center portion of the map while getting the economic advantage going. The Farseer has just been constantly harassing. Meanwhile, the Farseer here going to be bringing those Spirit Wolves and Headhunters down to the bottom left-hand side. Death Knight with Crypt Fiends already looking to put in pressure on this, well, newly or still under construction expansion as the Death Knight now, well, using that Rod of Necromancy and, well, Death Coil to clean up some of these peasants before they can finish up this, well, town hall. All right, repairs are not going to be in time for that Arcane Tower. That is going to be a huge loss here as the Death Knight should be able to at least take down all of these peasants and perhaps threaten the town hall in taking it down. Archmage, however, with a very large army, going to be running out across the map and putting pressure on to Lin. Lin may not be ready for such a large army push with all of these units, and Archmage is at level 3 with Gloves of Haste, Claws of Attack, and that Circlet of Nobility. That level 2 Water Elemental going to be putting in a lot of pressure here, especially before that Fortified Armor can even be started. One Orc Burrow going to go down. Another Orc Burrow could get taken down as well, as we are looking at the Death Knight just cleaning up this town hall. Meanwhile, down to the south side here, we see similar tactics trying to take down this Orc Burrow. Orc Burrow down to 8 hit points. It will get taken down as more Orc Burrows are now getting constructed. Meanwhile, back across here, we're looking at pretty much every single Orc Burrow getting destroyed here. Grunts trying to retreat away, unable to do it. Peasants going to get taken down as more Headhunters joining in on the battle. In a base trade scenario, if you have more bases, well, you generally have an advantage as another Orc Burrow gets taken down as well. All right. Headhunters trying to retreat back. There goes that Farseer army looking to put in pressure. Chain Lightning bouncing around, taking down more of those Spirit Wolves as that Grunt is in that frontline spot. Meanwhile, Archmage with Footmen looking to take down the Stronghold. 15 over 11 supply. Even if he does get any any or survives here, he'll have to start killing off some of his own headhunters in order to train up some peasants and then start building those orc burrows. Meanwhile, the Death Knight of Happy has been looking to clear out this town hall consistently, and finally says, you know what? Heroic damage and piercing damage on this town hall is really not worth it in terms of damage trading, but at the same time, he cannot allow that expansion to just stay up and operational. Wolf is going to try and finish this off here. Repairs are underway. Meanwhile, Footman attempting to take down that last peon. That peon does go down, and now we see nothing available to be built by Lin. Lin is in some serious trouble. Massive repair. Scroll of Town Portal coming back the other way. Here we are landing amongst all of these units. Footmen, do they have the Fen? Yes, they do. Going up against Crypt Fiends and Headhunters with the Fen. Meanwhile, the Farseer coming in from behind, and this is going to be a big stand here. Arcane Tower, Footmen with the Fen. Militia trying to fight back. Farseer now trying to retreat here. Dark Ranger at level 2 causing problems, focusing down that Farseer here. Crazy battle going across all the way as we're looking at Militia still joining in on the battle here. Low hit point Footmen do want to try and retreat back, perhaps trying to heal up at that fountain, but that fountain is not yet cleared up. Farseer still looking to engage against a couple of the grunts. Footmen trying to dive down onto the Crypt Fiends as this battle is just raging on here as the Footmen are causing a little bit of traffic, perhaps to try and finish off some more units. Dark Ranger could be in trouble. No, Dark Ranger gets a quick 400 hit point Death Coil heal as one Footman in the back, well, doesn't realize that he should be engaging in the fight. More and more of those headhunters are getting taken down. Meanwhile, this town hall could use some repairs as well, as the Footman was trying to, well, bathe at the spa, right before opening. Now that the creeps are up, no easy access to healing in the center portion of the map. That Dark Ranger has been able to rack up quite a bit of damage here. Arcane Vault now trying to be rebuilt. Farseer looking to put in pressure on all of these trailing headhunters as the battle is still going on. Farseer of Fly now coming in to reinforce. This is now 2 bases to 1, remember, as the Arcane Tower is looking to offer in a little bit of protection for those units in the back there still. Archmage of Tho is sitting at level 4, nearing level 5. That means that there's going to be plenty of mana as a Shadow Hunter now out here onto the battlefield. Are we looking at a Hex first? No, not a Hex first. There's Chain Lightning bouncing around across some last couple of units, as the Archmage is still sitting at level 4. Down to the south side here, Tho's expansion down to 65 hit points will end up getting cleaned up by Spirit Wolves. One Footman, well, being left at the main base of Lin to clean up those last remaining buildings, as it is a 2-on-1 tactic. All right, I guess this is really going to test the Emperor's grit here. I've often said it often feels like all undead need to win is a hero, Crypt Fiends, and that is it. And well, this is going to be a 2-on-1 fight now, pretty much throughout the remainder of this game. Death Knight sitting at level 3 here. There goes a Hex onto a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend most likely will get that Death Coil to heal back up. Meanwhile, massive Headhunter army here. Spirit Wolves feeding a little bit of experience. Farseer coming in from behind. Is that going to get cleaned up? Yes, he is. All right, down to 158 hit points. Is it going to get Chain Lightning? Yes, he is right there. Archmage did not need to get up onto the ramp. Could have just engaged in order to take down that one Farseer. That Farseer will be able to come back to live and fight another day, as the Shadow Hunter now chases after more and more of these headhunters. And well, that's actually a raccoon, so I thought that was another hexed unit for a second. I'm like, wow, that is a very fast cooldown. All right, is Undead happy? Yes. Double gloves on Lin. All right, Footman looking to still take that down there off to the north. Death Knight, Dark Ranger, Farseer making its way through. Going to try to do a little bit of a fight inside the center portion. Level 4 on that Archmage. Scroll of Regeneration, very useful across the majority of the army here, as the units are just still trying to make their way through. Null Overseer going to get taken down here. And nice item pickup as the Farseer sits at level 2, nearing level 3. Remainder of this creep camp should easily be cleaned up. And with the higher health of these orc units, well, the Raiders, they're going to be regenerating slightly faster, as we see a double level up. Level 5 on the Archmage, level 3 on the Farseer. More engagement coming back across. Archmage now trying to make its way back and snare onto the Obsidian Statue. No easy retreat there, as both sides are fighting underway. Obsidian Statue going to get taken down as the footmen are getting in a couple of good surrounds across the fleeing undead army. Null Overseer still in this battle here, but he is not going to be long for this world as the footmen with defend in that frontline spot, able to reflect back more damage still. Footmen still trying to lead the charge here. More ensnares going down, more devour magic by the destroyers though. So that's going to open up damage across all of those footmen again and again as that destroyer has a decent amount of mana still. All right, Raiders trying to get in position. Water Elementals fighting back the other way. Farseer is back in the game at level 4 with full hit points as the Lich now out on the battlefield with an Orb of Corruption fighting at this choke point. Water Elemental is continuing to hold steady here, trying to fire back, getting some damage here. This is a little bit of a high ground upgrade advantage as Happy is on the low ground trying to shoot up with ranged units. Farseer continuing to come back across here. Headhunter's trying to poke, and is Happy going to be able to hold this? It looks like he's going to be able to hold this as we see a retreat back to the Fountain of Health. All right, retreating back to the Fountain of Health to try and hold on to these units here. There are plenty of heroes. That one Farseer by Lin, still around, and perhaps that is the major difference. Lin still having a unit to use and still having a useful unit, and one headhunter. So one headhunter and that Farseer. All right, Spirit Wolves trying to scout out all of the locations there. Footmen still wandering about, perhaps going to try and take down the Altar of Storms or that War Mill as well. Even leaving a Grunt behind with Pillage would mean that you're getting in a little bit of additional gold. Shadow Hunter looking to get to level 3. Farseer will get closer to level 4 as we see a Brilliance Aura now picked up by the Shadow Hunter, who will be able to get to the level 3 here in now. Meanwhile, we are now pressing into Tho's base. The Undead army looking very strong. Undead continuing to push his way through and clean up here. We are still at tier 1 by Tho off of 2 bases as the Headhunter now trying to take down some of these peasants. Scroll of Town Portal. A Scroll of Town Portal now being used here to try and perhaps finish off that last Headhunter here. That will get taken down. These Spirit Wolves will get taken down as well. All right. Death Knight, Lich, Dark Ranger looking to clean up this massive army, and look at the number of skeletal minions given to Happy simply because of that Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger continuing to grow this undead army here as we finally see Tho come over to try and save this base. Is it going to turn into a one base scenario as the Farseer tries to escape down to 29 hit points, down to 15, down to dead? Death Knight able to finish it off. Shadow Hunter unable to get any necessary heals as the Death Knight getting closer to level 5 as well. Dark Ranger staying steady at level 3. Farseer trying to keep that distance away. Taking on the Farseer would be a permanent death at this point in stage, as the Kodo Beast was chewing on a dark minion for some reason, perhaps try and breaking us around. All right, is Happy doing the impossible, using undead and, being able to win in a 2v1 fight with pretty much a 2v1 fight as that Farseer is, now looking to put in pressure on this Town Hall and take it down. Happy is winning a 1v2. Give me a second. All right. Thanks, everyone. Little family thing to take care of. All right, Death Knight, Undead, looking to take down Tho's base here and also shut Tho out of this fight. Meanwhile, Footman looking to finish off this War Mill, and Happy off of one base, sitting at 58 over 60 supply, has taken down the main Town Hall of Tho and now going after the expansion of Tho as well. All right. Fly's base already has the reinforced defenses when the time comes. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain trying to level up as well. Archmage already sitting at level 5, continuing to clear out the center creep camps, not for experience for himself, but to deny experience for his opponent and to also get a little bit of additional items too. This one Footman working really, really hard, and I believe that is all the 312 over 30. An army of human is actually very, very small, and Fly with his own 57 over 61 going up against 59 over 60. One base versus one base now after all this time. Peasants could try and clear out this expansion on the left. He does have a potion of lesser invulnerability on that Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot, as the Tauren Chieftain desperately wants to get up to level 3, but the Shadow Hunter may be taking a little bit too much experience by being too close to the action. Tauren Chieftain now back there. One Footman continuing to, take down the War Mill here as we now see the Undead knocking on the front door. All right, Altar of Storms already taken down. Going after some of those key buildings in that frontline position. Orc burrows while firing back slowly and steadily as the armies do need to get back together. We are trying to rebuild up an expansion for Tho here at the 15-minute, 30-second mark as this footman now looking to take down this Altar of Storms. Coming back through, Orc army, a human army coming back down here, and here we are going into an engagement as Undead really pushing in very heavily here. No repairs as the destroyers could actually get belted down pretty fast here. What is going on? How come no repairs? Fly now gets up to Happy now gets up to level 5 on that Death Knight as the Farseer are going to try and engage, but the level 3 Farseer running into a level 5 Death Knight does not seem like a good situation. Farseer taking a little bit of damage here. Healing Wave bouncing around as the Death Coil takes off another chunk of hit points again. All right, Tome of Intelligence also being left behind here. Are we going to see an engagement? Tauren Chieftain going to try, and yes, does land the stomp across the center, but that's a level 2 stomp, not level 3. Shadowhunter now trying to hide in the back position as it needs to heal back up. Tauren Chieftain still seeing that level 2. Are we going to see a big stomp? There's another stomp there. Getting to level 3 is going to be the big deal. Death Knight almost gets taken down, gets healed back up as the Death Knight escapes away at 15 hit points. No, gets taken down, double level up here. Fly looking to land another beautiful stomp across all of these units. There's that stomp with the larger radius. And now suddenly, in a split moment, everything looks like it is different again with the Death Knight fallen at level 5. Tauren Chieftain now seeing that level 3 Shadow Hunter, or Farseer seeing that level 4. Tauren Chieftain now needs to back away as the Shadow Hunter doesn't have that much mana. And now using the high ground advantage is Happy. All right, that high ground advantage, that missing advantage, attacking from low ground to high ground, definitely felt right there as there is range units galore. All right, using that high ground advantage, that I believe it's a 25 or 25% miss rate, something significant enough there as the units are now looking to fall back again. Death Knight has resurrected at the tavern here as we are looking at a haunted gold mine by Happy. Eventually should be fully saturating that soon. This one footman still wondering what's going on in the war, trying to take down the last remaining building of his opponent here, this Altar of Storms. One water elemental there, gonna dissolve into a puddle as the Archmage is just shy of level 6. But even if he does get to level 6, he has no army to try and mass teleport. Meanwhile, coming back through, this is interesting. Fly's army is all below level 5. So he actually will benefit from clearing out this Granite Golem Red Drake creep camp here. Gonna go ahead and try and engage Tauren Chieftain in that frontline spot. Shadowhunter perhaps needs to get off some healing waves as well as we are going into that engagement. Red Drake, a flying unit that actually has armor. Heavy armor, meaning that the Berserkers don't deal bonus damage to it. All right, taking down those units quickly. Kodo Beast is still offering a bit of damage as the Shadow Hunter still sits at level 4. Farseer sits at level 4. And Tauren Chieftain sits at level 3. We do see a Scepter of Mastery takes control of target enemy unit. Cannot be used on heroes or creeps. Okay, so the Scepter of Mastery, I wonder if you can actually, can you take your opponent's destroyer? Or Obsidian Statue. The Obsidian Statue is probably a bit too far back, but you could take your opponent's destroyer and then perhaps try and turn things around that way. All right, that is a big experience boost overall. Shadowhunter, however, needs some clarity potions, and the Voodoo Lounge is built all the way in the back right now. All right. Skeletal minions are still doing a bit of scouting. Archmage trying to hold the door here, prevent these spirit wolves from being able to get in and deal damage as that arcane tower is now just done. It is 2 bases to 2 bases as Happy is running up on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Tho, however, is running up on 1 base and perhaps funneling gold or can buy items and then give them to his opponent or his partner so that it doesn't get taxed as much. Otherwise, I believe if you are in no upkeep and your opponent is in a low upkeep, giving gold over to your opponent actually still gets taxed. Shadow Wolves now making its way through. Archmage in position here. Dual potions of lesser invulnerability to try and fend off the attack here as the Shadow Wolves Are they going to try? Oh, what is this? Staff of teleportation to get away. Absolutely the wrong timing as the Shadow Wolves show up here. All right, Bestiary here. Are we going to be looking at the Archmage? Where is the Archmage? Archmage is off to the north here, actually shutting things down, and now going to be using mass teleport to move back over here. So great positioning, though, with Brilliance Aura, level 2 Brilliance Aura, going to be helping out the Tauren Chieftain, Farseer, and Shadow Hunter in these engagements here. All right, Farseer now trying, or Archmage trying to retreat to the very far back. There goes the death of a Raider at the very start. Tauren Chieftain, is he going to try and pick up another unit? I don't see what unit could have been taken here, as there was an Abomination in that frontline spot still. All right, Chain. Healing Wave bouncing back around Kodo Beast. A big stomp by the Tauren Chieftain. That level 2 stomp making such a drastic difference as the Archmage still, trying to boost up the rest of this Orc army by providing them mana. All right, units are retreating back. A big stomp going down. However, the Death Knight really not in danger, as it does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Dark Ranger now trying to fight back here. More damage racking up as the Shadow Hunter doesn't have that many targets to really try and Healing Wave as a Destroyer or an Abomination gets taken down, but that Abomination was the one that Fly stole with that Scepter. Coming back through, Tauren Chieftain now looking to back up here, trying to clean things up. Another Headhunter gets taken down. That a Shadow Wolf with that Shadow Strike damage, able to finish things off, as I believe that was a Dark Ritual by the Lich in order to chain off more here. All right. More scout towers being placed down to try and keep this town hall expansion up. And meanwhile, Archmage mass teleported off over here to shut the expansion down again, trying to take down acolytes, and acolyte after acolyte can continue to fall. Archmage does have mass teleport, also has a Scroll of Town Portal, and has a Staff of Teleportation. There goes a Ghoul from Happy, as the teleport now going to be, heading back to the spa center at this Voodoo Lounge. Healing salve, maybe even a clarity potion to stay on top of things, could leave behind the items to be given to Fly, since you don't want to get Fly no longer in an upkeep problem. All right, peasants taking quite a bit of damage. Staff of Teleportation making its way back down. Archmage is in position, does have a clarity potion here as well, trying to finish things off as those wolves are taking down low hit point units pretty easily and consistently. Archmage still has that Scroll of Town Portal here. Staff of Teleportation can move around the map very, very freely. Shadow Hunter getting maxed out on mana. Farseer getting very close to level 5, as well as the Tauren Chieftain with invisibility now will be able to dive into that frontline spot. He has that Pure Up of Vitality, an additional 150 hit points on top of the dual Circlets of Nobility. That is an additional 250 hit points on that level 4 Tauren Chieftain, as a Shadow Hunter now getting a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability as well. All right, Happy to not be outdone by his opponent in terms of hero level, now creeping with a level 3 Lich and a level 4 Dark Ranger. We may be looking at a double level up. Yes, we are. So suddenly we are looking at a 5-5-4 army instead of just a 5-4-3 hero combination. Destroyers making its rounds here, should be able to easily devour magic and finish things off right there. There's one devour magic. Any more devour magic? No. In comes a mass teleport. No deny, as the Archmage now needs to get away. Dark Ranger does have silence, and that is the problem. The Archmage cannot outrun the Dark Ranger that has Staff of Teleportation and all of that there. There is mass teleport. There's that silence. We're going to see a Scroll of Town Portal. Why even bother? As soon as you see, you knew that the silence was going to be coming down. Now, Archmage has suffered quite a bit of damage and needs to move around the map a little bit more freely there. It seems like a bit of a waste. Needs to get perhaps a clarity potion and give mana back to these units here. Expansion by Fly, now getting pressured by these Shadow Wolves. No easy way to reveal them unless you tech to tier 2 and get Arcane Brilliance on those towers. All right, making their way through. Berserker Frenzy, gonna really speed up that damage and that auto attack damage here. Meanwhile, Undead, sitting at a 71/80 supply army, going up against 49/82. Undead does have the definite advantage, even though we are looking at more and more expansions being established. Kodo Beast trying to dine and dash, unable to do so. Another Berserker going to get taken down, and Happy is really carrying his team Well, Happy and Lin versus Fly and Tho. Archmage, Mass Teleport trying to join back in on the fight again. Doesn't have very much, as it's going to be, well, perhaps bringing everything to the fight here. All right, Tauren Chieftain, 1,250 hit points in that frontline spot. Farseer only at 600. One Death Coil, one Frost Nova, and his life is nearly gone. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability a little bit late there, as we need to see another Shadow Hunter heal coming across. Chain Lightning, are we going to see the Farseer just get bursted down here as it's trying to retreat back? Archmage unable to do very much, trying to launch more attacks again as the Berserkers are in position here. Tauren Chieftain continuing that fight. Death Knight unable to get off a Death Coil onto that Farseer in that position, but the Tauren Chieftain is now in a little bit of trouble. Scroll of Speed to escape away, and the Tauren Chieftain, unable to outrun that Death Knight, gets hit in the back with a Death Coil and taken down. Farseer, Shadow Hunter, Berserkers now looking to retreat back. Destroyers, well, living up to their name, taking down Headhunter after Headhunter, and I believe we can see the writing on the wall. Happy with a commanding lead, and this may have all started from the fact that this Farseer at one point was down to 24 hit points and was not finished off by Fly and Tho. Thank you for the follow. Death Knight now continue to make its rounds again. Meanwhile, Archmage doing some more mass teleport, trying to finish things off here, as Happy is very limited in the amount of gold he can get. He's trying to run on one base. Meanwhile, there is 3 mining bases for Fly and Tho, even though, the armies are much smaller. Happy is pretty much is the stronger army, but he's unable to get his opponent off of life support, and this life support is really, breathing additional gold back into Fly and Tho. The question is, can Happy take Fly and Tho off of gold life support first, or will that army just continue to grow a bit too much? All right, as long as the army is moving as slowly as it is, and Happy is able to continually pick off this low hit point units, it looks like Happy is going to come away with the victory here. All right, Farseer, Shadow Hunter, Tauren Chieftain now looking to retreat back. All right, there is full mining at this base off to the north again. Shadow Wolves are now going to make their way over here to the bottom right-hand side of the map to try and stop mining there, as well as we are teching the tier 2 by Tho. Archmage, perhaps pick up a Tome of Strength. Yep, picks up Tome of Strength. No real mining going on here either, as the Water Elementals now making their way off to that northern position. Farseer, does it have Earthquake? If it does, it should have Earthquake, and here we are taking down these buildings absolutely quickly. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Shadow Wolves with a Water Elemental is going to stop any more of Happy's mining overall. All right, in comes a teleport here. Farseer trying to get away. Tauren Chieftain trying to get in front of that Farseer. Farseer actually able to duck behind a Dark Minion and stay alive, as we now see Silence. Death Coil on to a Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter could be in a little bit of trouble. Shadow Hunter could be using the heal. Well, could have tried to use Healing Wave, but is still Silence. That Silence seemingly lasting forever and a day, as the Healing Wave now bouncing around. All right, Silence, a great ability to try and neutralize your opponent's heroes, especially now that Dark Ranger is at level 5. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used there. Healing Wave still bouncing back around, as this army trying to hold together, but unable to do so easily, as the Shadow Hunters Wolves are just diving through, separating the Tauren Chieftain from the remainder of the Orc army. All right, Tauren Chieftain, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability not used. Perhaps it was on cooldown. Death Knight now sitting at level 6. It might be level 3 Unholy Aura for faster movement speed. Tauren Chieftain now resurrected with that level 2 Endurance Aura, trying to lead the army away here, as we see another Farseer. Well, the Farseer getting taken down again. Level 5 Farseer taken out. Meanwhile, all Tho can really do is try and stop the mining and stop the reinforcements that Happy's been able to build. But when you have the larger army, it does not matter very much. All right, Archmage needs to get away and in a hurry. There is a Silence, but he was able to staff of teleportation out of that position anyways, even with the Silence, as the Farseer is resurrected. All right, all of that bonus gold by Tho, as Tho could build up an Altar of Darkness and try and, rebuild things. Archmage here, dropping water elemental, gonna be able to shut down the haunted gold mine here, take it down. Meanwhile, no mining happening here either. So this game could still go any which way as we are mining on 2 bases compared to 0 right now. 34 supply and 22 supply going up against a 67 supply, but I believe the 22 supply is just mainly workers to try and, well, reinforce things here. All right, a couple more acolytes going to get taken down. That's taken down. And, well, level 6 Farseer, level 6 Death Knight, level 4 Lich. Even trying to train up an additional hero at this point would not be very, very useful, as that additional hero would just instantaneously be bursted down by level 3 Death Coil and a level 3 Frost Nova. Follow that up, or sorry, level 2 Frost Nova. Follow that up with a couple of auto attacks, and that unit is pretty much gone. All right, mass teleport trying to get away. We are now going into some, well, militia to try and set up another base, perhaps, as the wolves are scouting every single corner of the map. Is this going to turn into a base race scenario, as, well, wolves are now attempting to take things down here? More gold is still being mined. The base race scenario, Tauren Chieftain does not have Shockwave, but he has Stomp. If a Shockwave, unsummoning buildings, Happy needs to get some additional gold. Scroll of Town Portal now inbound. No, that's just a Staff of Teleportation, trying to perhaps get the Dark Ranger to do something. There's silence across all of those units as they're being forced to retreat back. Meanwhile, Scroll of Town Portal now really inbound to land on top of that Tauren Chieftain there. Scroll of Town Portal by the Farseer. One Raider gets taken down, giving level 5 to the Lich. New base, no, mass towers being constructed. We do have a war mill, so mass towers masonry upgrade perhaps could be useful, as well as the guard towers are now getting up here. All right, how much gold is necessary? Running out of gold quickly, perhaps mining a little bit here to get up, as the Mountain King is now on the battlefield. All right, Mountain King on the battlefield, trying to rebuild a little bit of that army. Mountain King, Altar of Storms. I forgot that there were still buildings off over here at the 3 o'clock position. Was looking for the Altar of Storms, realizing, wait, it's in the starting location. Fly could start some more mining again to get a little bit more going here, as the peasants are still continuing to work. That is a greater dark minion, perfect for dark rituals for that Lich. Lich, I believe, has level 2 Dark Ritual for more and more mana. And as we are looking at these guard towers and arcane towers about to be completed, one guard tower, one arcane tower, here we are racking up some damage. Death Knight losing some precious mana quickly, as that guard tower is going to end up falling. Canceling all these towers would be important here, as you don't want to be feeding experience to your opponent right now. Mountain King showing up here. Archmage trying to take down another building. Meanwhile, a little bit more mining happening here as the Shadow Wolves looking to finish things off. There are still plenty of towers here, as the Blacksmith is now getting added, perhaps to try and get up some riflemen to deal with the destroyers that have taken to the skies. Black Citadel. Well, there is another Staff of Teleportation inbound here. Dark Ranger sitting at level 6. Are we going to start seeing some charm? Yes, we are. Raiders now getting in some ensnare action, and that has got to be the end with the Dark Ranger now at level 6. Any unit, or your most expensive unit, is constantly turning colors and being a turncoat. And, well, that's just not going to be happening here. Happy now with a Raider in his repertoire of his army. Level 6 Death Knight, level 6 Dark Ranger, level 5 Lich. That has to be the end now. Well, Happy pretty much pulling off an incredible feat and winning a 2-on-1 fight. And after some questionable decisions early on, but recognizing he couldn't allow Tho to hold on to that economic advantage. Ensnare onto the Tauren Chieftain. Well, there goes a Stomp. Gonna try and break free. Thank you for the follow. As the Tauren Chieftain, well, linebacker trying to break through a couple of tackles, but a Chain Lightning in the back knocks him down. All right, Death Knight still leading the charge, going after the Shadow Hunter here. Farseer is trying to retreat back. There's a Death Coil. We could be looking at a healing wave. Nope, a Hex instead, but that means that he needs a little bit more mana. Dark Ranger, Death Knight with that faster movement speed, as the Farseer is coming back around there. There's a healing wave bouncing back around. Farseer trying to get in front here, but this has got to be the end here. That Shadow Hunter will get taken down. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used just in time, down to 44 hit points. Now Farseer, the one taking all of the focus but Fly's Farseer are gonna be shut down as well. Yeah, no, I haven't gone anywhere. Fly throws in the GG, Thoth throws in the GG as well, and that is the game. Happy with an amazing, amazing display of grit, winning out in this 2v2 matchup over Fly and Tho while carrying Lin, who, well, did hold on to that Farseer and even got to level 6. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.